Why people conform even when they know it's wrong. Imagine walking into a room where everyone believes something you know is false. One by one, each person confidently gives the same incorrect answer. Then, all eyes turn toward you. Would you speak the truth, or would you agree with the crowd? Most people believe they would stand their ground. We like to think that our opinions are independent, and that we would never ignore obvious facts just because everyone else does. But psychology tells a very different story. One of the strongest forces influencing human behavior is conformity, the tendency to adjust our thoughts, beliefs, or actions to match the people around us. We don't conform because we're unintelligent. We don't conform because we're weak. We conform because for thousands of years, survival depended on belonging. Our ancestors lived in tribes. Being accepted by the group meant protection, cooperation, and a greater chance of survival. Being rejected often meant facing danger alone. Although the world has changed, our brains have not. That ancient instinct to fit in still shapes our decisions today. It influences the clothes we wear, the opinions we express, the trends we follow, and sometimes even the beliefs we hold. In the 1950s, psychologist Solomon Asch conducted one of the most famous experiments in social psychology. Participants were invited into a room and asked a simple question. They were shown several lines and asked which two lines were the same length. The correct answer was obvious, but there was a catch. Everyone else in the room had secretly agreed to give the wrong answer. One after another, they confidently chose the incorrect line. When it was finally the participants' turn, something remarkable happened. Many ignored what they could clearly see with their own eyes. Instead of giving the correct answer, they agreed with the group, not because they believed the group was right, but because they didn't want to be the only person who was different. The pressure to fit in became stronger than the evidence in front of them. Now imagine that same psychological force, not inside a laboratory, but across an entire nation. As support for Hitler continued to grow, many Germans found themselves surrounded by neighbors, co-workers, teachers, friends, and even family members who openly supported the Nazi Party. Flags filled the streets. Rallies drew enormous crowds. The media repeated the same messages. Support appeared to be everywhere. The more people seemed to agree, the more difficult it became to disagree. For some, remaining silent felt safer than speaking out. For others, joining the crowd felt easier than standing alone. Slowly, conformity became the new normal. When enough people accept an idea, that idea begins to feel obvious, not because it has been carefully examined, but because everyone else appears to believe it. History reminds us that conformity is not always harmful. It can strengthen communities, it can encourage cooperation, and it can help people work together toward positive goals. But when conformity replaces independent thinking, it becomes dangerous, because progress has never depended on people who simply followed the crowd. It has depended on those willing to ask difficult questions, those willing to challenge popular opinion, those willing to stand alone when necessary. The rise of Nazi Germany teaches us that history is shaped not only by powerful leaders, it is also shaped by ordinary people making everyday choices. The question is not whether conformity exists. It exists in every society. The real question is this: when the crow moves in one direction, will you have the courage to think for yourself,